यहाँ पे कमरा लिया और यहाँ पे आके मर्डर कर दिया।
All right, we may have lost that audio line again, but those are the details that have emerged. Both Aaftab and Shraddha were originally working in Bombay. They had met on a dating app, after which the family, and Shraddha's family to be precise, had opposed the relationship. So they decided to move to Delhi. Both of them got jobs in call centers. And before moving to Delhi, they had also.
मेरे को पता है आपने वो एक फ्लैश डाला जो हमारा ग्रुप होता है कि इसमें बहुत ही अजीब सी बदबू आ रही है। 35 पीसेस रखे थे, एक एक पीस करके निकालता था, फेंक के आता था। आपने कहा डेक्स्टर सीरीज है, उससे मतलब इन्फ्लुएंस था, बट देन इट्स अ वेल प्लान मर्डर।
एब्सोल्युटली सब। अभी तक हमें यही पता चला है कि किस तरीके से वो धीरे धीरे पहले वो वेकेशन पे गया, फिर यहाँ आया और क्योंकि उनके पास बहुत पैसे नहीं थे, एक हॉस्टल में भी ठहरे। फिर जब यहाँ आया 15 तारीख को उन्होंने शिफ्ट किया छतरपुर के फ्लैट में, ये फ्रिज खरीदा गया उसी दौरान, और फिर 18 को ये क्राइम कमिट
हमने देखा नया फ्रिज है, उसकी पन्नी तक मतलब उतरी नहीं।
जी बिल्कुल, आप देख सकते हैं कि पुलिस ने उसको सील शट किया हुआ है, बट उसका जो भी रैपर है वो अभी तक नहीं। और ये एक सेक्लूडेड फ्रिज था कि ज़्यादा किसी को ना दिखे। वो जोमेटो से खाना मंगा रहा था और ज़्यादा किसी को अंदर बाहर आने नहीं दे रहा था। और साथ में उसको जो पुलिस ने हमें बताया, सोर्सेज ने, कि उनको बिल्कुल भी गिल्ट नहीं था कि उन्होंने ये क्राइम कमिट किया है, और वो उसी कमरे में सो रहे थे जहां इतने दिनों से, इतने 6 महीनों से जहां उन्होंने ये क्राइम कमिट किया।
इमेजिन करने की बात है कि 35 जिसके साथ आप लिव इन रिलेशन में रह रहे हैं, जिसके साथ आपका एक फीलिंग्स अटैच्ड है, उसका आपने 35 टुकड़े काट दिए और एक एक टुकड़ा उठा के आप जंगल में जाके फेंक के आते थे।
बिल्कुल, रात के अंधेरे में फेंक के आते ताकि कोई देख ना सके। बकायदा एक पन्नी में भरकर एक एक टुकड़ा निकालता रहा, बड़ा बेरहमी से। हम और आप इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते हैं उस तरह से उसने एक एक टुकड़ा निकाला, जंगल में फेंका। और आज जब हमने उससे सवाल पूछा कि 35 टुकड़े क्यों किए, तो वो ऐसा मासूम बनने की कोशिश कर रहा था, हाथों पे सिर पे अपना हाथ रख के।
ये मासूमियत मधुरमा, अब इसको लेके बॉम्बे जाया जाएगा। व्हाट आर द पेरेंट्स, व्हाट इज द फैमिली?
जो लड़की के पेरेंट्स हैं उन्होंने ही इंटिमिडेट किया था। ये सारा सिलसिला शुरू ही तब हुआ कि जब लड़की के जो फ्रेंड्स थे, उन्होंने कहा कि काफ़ी टाइम से सोशल मीडिया पे इनएक्टिव है। उन्होंने पेरेंट्स को फ़ोन किया, फिर पेरेंट्स ने फ्रेंड्स विज़ावी फ्रेंड्स इंक्वायर किया, और तब जाके पेरेंट्स मुंबई गए और वहाँ पे जाके उन्होंने कंप्लेन वहाँ पे दर्ज की। अब जबकि इनको यहाँ पे पकड़ लिया गया है, 5 दिन का पुलिस रिमांड है। तो अब ये देखना होगा कि 5 दिन के रिमांड में अगर ये पूरी बातें बताते हैं कि नहीं, क्योंकि पहले इन्होंने पुलिस को भी मना कर दिया था। इन्होंने बोला था कि वो मेरा उनसे ब्रेकअप हो गया और मुझे छोड़ के चली गई हैं, बट बाद में जब इंटरोगेशन आगे बढ़ी तब उन्होंने कन्फेस किया और जाके
झूठी कहानियां बनाने लगे। बिल्कुल, तो अब मैं सीधा जा रहा हूं मतलब अमित चौधरी के पास। अमित चौधरी, आप इस समय मौका वारदात पे मौजूद हैं वहां पे। यहाँ पे ये पता लगा है कि OTT सीरीज, डेक्स्टर सीरीज देखते थे, ये देखते थे, और अभी अभी ये भी आया है कि उन्होंने ही हैज एक्सेप्टेड, आफ्ताब ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि उन्होंने ये क्राइम कमिट किया है। अमित,
Yes, those are the latest details that are also flashing on your screens, coming in from the investigating team, that Aaftab has confessed to the murder and he has expressed no remorse, no regret. He was cold-blooded even after he committed the murder. He slept on the same bed, stayed in the same room that he shared with his live-in partner, Shraddha. He ordered food from Zomato. He was absolutely normal. There was lesser interaction, or I'd say literally minimal, when it came to the neighbors, and that is what the neighbors have said. They've also said that the couple did have fights. Then, as the police is indicating, this was after Shraddha wanted to marry him and fought with him that she wanted to marry him. Although details that are coming in that he murdered her in the heat of the moment, he strangulated her, after which he cut her body into 35 pieces, stored those body parts in the fridge.
आ रही है, कुछ हो रहा है?
अगर कुछ ऐसा कुछ होता एक्टिविटी कहीं, हाँ भाई स्मेल आ रही है, तो हम थोड़ा अगर जाके भी नहीं देख पाते तो मकान मालिक को तो एक बार बोलते कि भाई तेरे मकान से स्मेल आ रही है, आके एक बार देखो।
नहीं, ये जानना
कुछ नहीं था,
ऐसा कुछ नहीं था। मुझे बताइए कि क्या 15 तारीख से 18 तारीख के बीच में और 18 तारीख को जिस रात हत्या हुई, क्या कोई चीखने चिल्लाने, क्योंकि सबसे नज़दीक आपका घर है, बिल्कुल सामने आपका घर है, किसी तरीके का कोई आपने मूवमेंट देखा, किसी को आते हुए देखा, किसी को जाते हुए, या कोई शोर शराबा?
नहीं, मैंने कुछ नहीं देखा है। मतलब मुझे नहीं पता क्या था क्या नहीं, मेरी ड्यूटी नाइट शिफ्ट चल रही थी, तो मैंने
आपके परिवार में किसी ने कुछ बोला हो कि यहाँ पर चीखने चिल्लाने की आवाज़ें आती हैं, लड़ाई झगड़े होते हैं, किसी ने सुना हो?
एक दो बार मेरी बेटी ने झगड़ा सुना है कि आवाज़ आई, झगड़े की आवाज़ आ रही है, और एक दो बार मेरी सास ने भी चिल्लाने की, झगड़े की आवाज़ वगैरह सुनी थी।
पुलिस ने क्या आप लोगों से कोई पूछताछ की? आपको कब पता लगा कि यहाँ पर हत्या हो गई है, वो भी इतनी बेरहमी से मार दिया गया?
हमें अभी 3 दिन पहले ही पता लगा है, जब यहाँ कम से कम 25-30 पुलिस वाले एक साथ आए हैं और पूरी बिल्डिंग को घेरा है और उसको साथ लेके आए हैं, तब हमें पता लगा। उससे जब पुलिस से हमने पूछा क्या हो गया, उन्होंने कहा एक लड़की मिसिंग हो गई है, उसी के लिए आए हैं।
ऐश्वर्या, जाहिर सी बात है, मैं एक बार आपको यहाँ के लोकेशन भी दिखाना चाहूँगा और किस तरीके से इन्होंने बताया। आसपास के जो लोग रहते हैं उनमें काफ़ी खौफ है, दहशत है, क्योंकि जब से पुलिस ने बोला है कि यहाँ हत्या हो गई है, और हत्या जिस तरीके से 35 टुकड़े करके वो शख्स इनके बीच में ही रहता था, बाकायदा खाना मंगवाता था, तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं डर और खौफ जो है वो इनके चेहरे पर जो है वो साफ नज़र आ रहा है। मैं आपको उस फ्लैट की तरफ भी लेके जा रहा हूँ। ये फर्स्ट फ्लोर वाला फ्लैट है, जहाँ पर हम लोग खड़े थे वो सामने वाला फ्लैट था, और यहाँ पर मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ कि किस तरीके से ये फ्लैट है, और इस फ्लैट पर फिलहाल ताला देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर जो है वो ताला लगा हुआ है, और इसी फ्लैट में वो रहता था। कमरे की जो हालत है उसपे उसके कपड़े जो हैं, लड़के के कपड़े जो है वो यहाँ पर जो हैं वो डले हुए, यानी कि कपड़े उसने धोए थे, बाकायदा सूखने के लिए दिए, और वो आराम से यहाँ पर जो अपनी ज़िंदगी है वो यहाँ पर व्यतीत कर रहा था, बाकायदा ऑफिस जाता था। और 18 दिनों तक जब उसने उसके टुकड़ों को, बॉडी के टुकड़ों को ठिकाने लगाया, उसके बाद उसे लगा पुलिस उस तक कभी पहुँच नहीं पाएगी। जी ऐश्वर्या।
Our reporters on the ground getting you minute-to-minute details of the case history and of the investigation. The details that have emerged so far of how the crime was committed. Aaftab and Shraddha in a relationship. They met on a dating app. They met in Mumbai. Shraddha's family opposed the relationship. They moved to Delhi. But soon after they moved, as the neighbors suggest, that they had constant fights because Shraddha wanted to marry him, and they had fights over that. In the heat of the moment, he strangulated her one night. After that, he brutally cut her body into 35 pieces, stored it in the fridge that they had bought, a 300-liter fridge. He used incense sticks or agarbatti to ensure that the smell does not spread in the neighborhood. And then every night at about 2 a.m. he would leave his house to dispose of one body part in the Mehroli forest, in that dense forest. And Republic also showed you a report to that effect. In that dense forest, in various parts of that forest, he disposed of one body part each, bit by bit, every single night. Minimal or literally no interaction with the neighbors. He had a relationship with her in Delhi, and it started in Mumbai. The details came to light after the family flagged off what was happening and filed a missing complaint with the police. This after a friend of Shraddha had informed the family that her phone had been switched off for weeks together. The police has taken 6 months to solve this case, and now the horrific details that are in public domain. Alright, briefly shifting focus to the NCP MLA Jitendra Aaftab, who has now tendered his resignation as MLA. That letter on your screens right now. We'll try and get one of my colleagues to read out details and the objective points of what he has written in that letter. But it is confirmed he has tendered his resignation after the high drama that has been ensuing all these days over the ruckus that he created in Mumbai. And we of course saw how his supporters had gone on to stage protests in his defense, this even after the police had arrested him. But now Jitendra Aaftab has officially resigned. He's tendered his resignation. That resignation letter on your screens right now, Republic has been able to access a copy of it, and we'll try and get one of my colleagues from the newsroom to read out details of what he has mentioned in that resignation letter. This after what we saw, the tweet that he had put out, and the strong action that the Maharashtra government had vowed off against this MLA, who now no more is an MLA, as he has put out his resignation. He has officially resigned as MLA. Republic has accessed a copy of that resignation letter. But the goon Neta, who had created ruckus, beaten up cinegoers in that movie hall that was playing Har Har Mahadev, where he had said that parts of the story were distorted. He wasn't in agreement of it, so he decided to take the law into his hands, and him along with his supporters had gone to the movie theatre and beaten up cinegoers who had come to watch that film that night. A lot of anger that had arisen after this incident had occurred on the way this Neta decided to take law into his hands. Soon after, he had also put out a tweet of how the police had called him and arrested him without giving him any summons. And then protests that followed from his supporters. Sanika is with me from the newsroom. She's standing by with a copy of that letter. Sanika, read out the important parts. What is he saying through this letter as he has officially resigned?
Yes, in fact, Suesha, this morning itself, early morning itself, Jitendra Aaftab has said that he will tender his resignation, and this is what we are getting right now. This is the resignation letter of Jitendra Aaftab, the NCP MLA, ex-MLA. He sent it to the speaker. Subject reads that this is in connection with his resignation. He's requesting the speaker to accept his resignation. In the first paragraph of the letter, if I could translate this letter for our viewers, he's saying that in the last 3 days there have been 2 fake cases that have been registered against him. This is what Jitendra Aaftab is saying, that there are 2 fake cases as per Jitendra Aaftab that have been leveled against him. In fact, he is also saying that he was called to the police station for inquiry to collect for a notice to be served to him, and when the notice was being served, he was told that he's being arrested, which he claims does not fall into is very illegal, because he was just called to get the notice. So this is the claim that Jitendra Aaftab had made. This is with connection to his arrest that was made 2 days back, Suesha. In connection, in fact, he was arrested after an FIR was filed against him and his workers for creating a ruckus, for creating trouble in a movie theatre, thrashing a common man, a citizen, because while he went to watch a film. And so that was the first case. The second case that we're talking about, that the second case, which he is calling it a fake case, is about an allegation that a woman has levelled against him. The woman had alleged that Jitendra Aaftab, the NCP leader, a very senior leader of the NCP, had pushed her at a public function. So there was a case registered against him, and in fact, Suesha, this since late last night, early this morning, we've been seeing protests and even violent sort of protests that took place by NCP workers in connection with this case, in connection with the FIR that has been filed against Jitendra Aaftab. And now, just a while back, we also had Jitendra Aaftab addressing the media with a senior NCP leader, Jayant Patil, former minister in the Maharashtra government. They had addressed the news conference as well, and now we're getting this letter from Jitendra Aaftab on the NCP letterhead. He sent this to the Speaker of the Maharashtra Assembly, and he has requested the Maharashtra Assembly to accept his resignation, citing that there are 2 fake cases that have been slapped against him in the last 3 days. So this is the reason that he's giving. And in fact, Suesha, if we could also get our Mumbai reporters alive, because they've been covering the protests and the kind of chaos that the NCP workers had unleashed this morning because of the FIR and the action that Jitendra Aaftab is facing. If you could also go to our reporters on ground and get more details about the kind of case that was levelled against him and what they are getting to know. In fact, what we could also tell our viewers is that we tried to ask some questions to Jitendra Avhad, but Jitendra Avhad had in fact blocked Republic from entering that press conference and asking direct questions. Suesha, I believe we're awaiting reactions on this. We have Brijmohan Srivastava, who's the spokesperson of NCP, joining us on the phone line. If I could take this question to him on his response to the resignation letter that has been sent by Jitendra Avhad. Mr. Srivastava, your first response on this.
Actually, I am not having this information with me just now. But one thing is very clear that the victimization of this Aaftab government will be properly. We will give the reply of it, and we will not. The NCP will not tolerate this type of activities in the Maharashtra. As you know, Mr. Jitendra Avhad is an elected representative, and he is in public life since last 20 years. He worked as a health minister of Maharashtra, then he worked as a housing minister of Maharashtra, and he is very.
Sir, you're calling it victimization. Mr. Srivastava, you're calling it victimization, but there are videos. There are videos that Republic has accessed, and it's all over, which show how Jitendra Avhad and his team, his members had actually behaved with the man in the theatre, as well as his behavior last night, even at the event where the woman has claimed that she was pushed. So there are videos of these instances as well. So how can we call it victimization?
Actually, it's not seems to be good that I should ask this question to you, that whether you have seen that the video or not. Do you think that he is doing something molestation with that lady on this video? I have seen that video. Simply there is a crowd, and the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra is giving the place, and there was a function. So he is coming out from the crowd, and when he is coming from the crowd, there is that lady is standing there. So simply, if we want to come out from the crowd, how he will come out without making the way? This is the simple thing.
And those are the latest details that are emerging, where the Supreme Court has asked the centre to make its stand extremely clear on forced conversions. The Supreme Court has said that this is a serious issue, and the Supreme Court is now making it amply clear to the centre to take a stand on forced conversions and come out in black and white on what its position is when it comes to forced conversions. This is the latest that is just emerging from the top court. My colleague will join us shortly. I believe Rhythm has all the details of what the Supreme Court has said, but these are the initial details that are just coming in. The top court asking the centre to make its position clear. The Supreme Court has taken serious note of alleged incidents of religious conversion through deception, allurement and force. It has said that if this is not stopped, it will pose danger to security of the country as well as citizens' fundamental right to freedom of conscience as far as religion is concerned. The Supreme Court has also said that it is time that the centre steps in to stop such forced conversions. S.G. Tushar Mehta has also said that such conversions are rampant in tribal areas, asking what is the government doing. This the bench has asked and told the centre to file an affidavit by the 22nd of November. That is the deadline that has been given to the centre. The top court asking the centre to file an affidavit by the 22nd of November detailing steps taken against forcible conversion. The Supreme Court is making a strong statement saying that forced conversion is a threat to our country, and it is asking the centre to make its position very clear. The Supreme Court has made a statement saying that the issue is very serious and it may ultimately affect the freedom and security of the country and citizens along with their freedom and conscience. This is what was said by the bench that was led by Justice M.R. Shah. The order that states that it is a very serious issue which will affect security of the nation and freedom of religion and conscience. Therefore, it is better that union may make their stand clear and file counter on what further steps can be taken or others to curb such forced conversions by force, allurement or fraudulent means. At the request of the Solicitor General, put up on the 20th of November, a counter that is expected from the centre by the 22nd of November. These are the initial details that have just come in. It is a 124-page order. It will be broken down by my colleague Rhythm, who will join us shortly. But important points coming in from these breaking details, as the Supreme Court is saying that forced conversion is a serious threat to the country. It will pose a danger to security of the country as well as citizens' fundamental right to freedom of conscience as far as religion is concerned. We'll put out all the details. Rhythm is expected to join us shortly of what has been said by the top court. But essentially, as is emerging, that the Supreme Court is calling it a very serious threat to the country and the citizens, along with their freedom and conscience, and a deadline of 22nd November. 22nd November that has been given to the centre. I believe Rhythm is joining us live on the broadcast. Rhythm, over to you for all that the top court has said and asking the centre to take a position on this. 22nd November is the deadline.
Yes. All right, let's tell our viewers, Suesha, as you were telling us, the big breaking news coming in from the top court. The Supreme Court has now taken serious note of alleged religious conversions that are taking place through deception, allurement and force. This has been a top focus on Republic TV for the largest number of days. Now the Supreme Court says if this is not stopped, it is going to pose a danger to the security of the country as well as the citizens' fundamental rights to freedom of conscience as far as religion is concerned. The Supreme Court therefore says it is time the central government stepped in to stop forced conversions. So the Supreme Court asking for very strong steps to be taken to ensure forced conversions are not there. The government's top law officer, Mr. Tushar Mehta, was present in the courtroom and said such conversions are rampant in tribal areas. The bench asked, what is the government doing? They've told the central government to file the affidavit by the 22nd of November detailing steps that have been taken against forcible conversions. I'm going to read out the order that the Supreme Court today has given, Suesha, where they say the issue is very serious and may ultimately affect the freedom and security of the country and citizens along with their freedom of conscience. It's also a very serious issue which will affect the security of the nation. Therefore, it's better that union may make their stand clear and file a counter on what further steps can be taken, and the case is now put up for the 22nd.
Now, you know, Rhythm, the story that you're breaking is huge. The story that will have huge consequences, and a story again and again that has been reported by us here on Republic. Now, tell me something. What is the background? Why has the Supreme Court dealt with this issue right now? Because I do remember there have been multiple PILs. We here also at Republic, Rhythm, have spoken and put forward a number of these investigations that say this is a reality that needs to be dealt with very, very seriously.
Well, there was this Ashwini Upadhyay, Deepthi, has filed this petition. It was to come up today, and he has said religious conversions need to be stopped. In fact, he said the Supreme Court is going to be hearing this PIL to see that the stringent steps are taken to control forced and fraudulent religious conversions, as well as religious conversions, Deepthi, by intimidation, threatening, deceivingly luring through gifts and monetary benefits. The case was to come up before the bench of Justice Shah. It's Court 5, item 48 that heard the matter. I think the most important thing that has happened today, Deepthi, is the order of the Supreme Court and the words that they've used, which we're going to soon put out in inverted commas, because the Supreme Court, Deepthi, says this issue is very serious. It will affect the freedom of security of the country and citizens along with their freedom of conscience. They've also said it's a very serious issue which is going to affect, and therefore the government must take a firm stand on what needs to be done. Usually the government that is in agreement takes place is waiting to see what next has to be done.
Yes, forced conversion is a threat to the country. That is the bigger headline that's coming out of what we've heard from the Supreme Court. On the other side of this quick break, Rhythm, as I say thank you to you right now. But remember, through this evening, we'll get you more details on this big order that's coming from the Supreme Court. Also on the other side, a story that the entire country is talking about tonight. A story that will not let you sleep tonight. A story as horrific as the Shraddha murder case. We are back with our live and non-stop rolling coverage.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Nalini, who has come out of the prison after 32 years, she says that she's had enough punishment for this life.
Today in National Capital, BJP MP from Hubli, Lokesh Chaudhary ji, has come here at a North Avenue police station to file a complaint against Akhil Giri.
The IMD has issued a red alert in Tamil Nadu, predicted heavy rainfalls in the state.
Taiwanese Defense Ministry saying that 36 fighter jets and bombers seen flying near Taiwan.
Senior students who are seen beating and very badly assaulting him. Shocking incident coming to light from IVS in Hyderabad.
Hasibul Hassan, who is the former nominated councillor of the Aam Aadmi Party, the reason why he even climbed that particular tower is because he was denied a ticket.
But Sudhir Suri's murder accused Sandeep Singh was felicitated by showering flower petals in Amritsar during his hearing. Explosion on railway tracks, big questions emerge. Was it a mishap or a sabotage?
In Fatehpur, 8 FIRs have been registered in a year for illegal conversions. Those following Christianity were accused of converting poor Hindus by tricking them.
Very difficult living situation in the national capital. AQI index in the national capital is 359. That puts the air pollution level into very poor category. This new poster that has been put out by the Twitter handle of the Delhi BJP showcases Manish Sisodia as a lutera.
It was a Veterans Day commemorative event. Aircraft crashing during an air show at Dallas. 6 people are feared dead.
You're with Republic and these are live images right now coming in from Kolkata. This is the BJP right now protesting over the rising cases of dengue in Kolkata. Do remember over the last at least few weeks, we have seen a serious uptick in the number of dengue cases, also dengue-related deaths. The allegation is that the municipal authorities in Kolkata, the civic authorities there, aren't doing enough to ensure that the cases come down. The BJP right now is protesting. Very, very dramatic images that you see on your screen. Some of them also quoting arrest right now. We'll try and see if we can quickly cut across to our reporters from our sister network, Republic Bangla, who are reporting live on that huge story right now. Why is the municipal authority there silent? We do not know, because this is a serious issue that a lot of citizens have been speaking up against, speaking of the kind of mismanagement, and I think a few of those BJP workers already have been packed up in that blue police van that you noticed on your screens, but a high voltage drama that continues there on the streets in Kolkata. To our next breaking update. In fact, we are getting in images now from the big G20 summit.
where Joe Biden has met with Xi Jinping. In fact, Xi says that he's prepared for a candid and an in-depth exchange of views with Biden, aiming to elevate the US-China relationship. And let's see if we can also get an Abhishek as we stay with these images. Abhishek, this is a meeting that many are keeping their eyes focused on. Will the US president be seeking red lines in talks with Xi Jinping?
Well, US can draw as many red lines they want to be. The fact of the matter is China has its own momentum, and the fact that this is the first meeting happening between the two leaders after Biden administration came out with its national security strategy, which every president's administration is mandated as per US law to come out on, and it clearly demarcates China not an enemy, as in the word is not used, but a competitor, which almost amounts to enemy. And remember the kind of action that have been taken by the Biden administration over the last couple of years post the pandemic, including the Chips and Sciences Act, clearly aimed at making sure that the Chinese rise as a global power is in some ways defrayed, and also, of course, the issue of the Ukraine war and the Chinese backing of Russia and the supply chains, global supply chains issue, and the overall China plus one strategy the world is evolving. So I think this is as much a meeting between competitors and rivals now as absolute